I've already watched this video once, and I watched my little ticker go up to like the 50 point, because I was recording sound on a different, I was trying something different with my sound. I don't think it's going to work out, so work with me on my sound here still. Anyway, so this is the weight loss surgery update. Let's talk mukbangs and feeders. And before we get into it, yes, this is my cat. He is demanding to be acknowledged. Anyway, he's being a butthead. He's trying to steal my eggs. They're the same eggs. You still don't like them. Whatever. All right, so this is the weight loss surgery update. Let's talk mukbangs and feeders. I'm going to edit this one a lot because could you not get food on everything? Thank you. Anyway, I'm probably going to edit this one a lot just because it's an 18-minute video for her and I tend to talk a lot. So I don't really want this to be an hour and a half long reaction. And I really just want to get to a couple points in this video that are important to me, which basically are her explaining why she's not getting the weight loss surgery. So she's at time and a half, and that's just to let you guys know that she's not in a manic phase. I just have her sped up. So let's do this thing. Let's do it.
Hello. Hi. How are you? So welcome to a new vlog. So today I said in my last vlog how I have a lot of important phone calls to make. So I'm going to be making those. So the first one is I'm about to call the place where I got my chest x-ray done. I got it done like a week ago. So I'm going to get my results for that because I'm curious to see what they say. So I'm going to do that. That's the first thing. Okay. So I called, and unfortunately I have to send an email asking to be part of their portal to get my results because I guess they can't tell me over the phone. So I'm going to do that, which I'm doing right now on my laptop. And then I am going to call a lung specialist, which is like a pulmonary, it's just like, I don't want to pronounce it, but it's like a pulmonary moment. So I'm going to call and see if I need a referral. So that's my next step. And the email is sent. So I'm going to go do that. Okay.
All right, I want to pause here because I'm probably going to cut the rest of this because I don't care about the rest of it. I said this in the first time I was trying to record the video, and I want to say it again in this time. This particular clip is, I think in one of the first videos, well, I know in one of the first videos I did, I said that I don't believe that Amberlynn is actually part of a medical system. And what I mean by that is like, for an example, I mentioned that I'm having some health fun times that I'm dealing with right now. And because of that, I've been going to doctor's appointments pretty much every other week. Excuse me. And, the point of this is when I go see my general practitioner, which I haven't seen in a while, but that has nothing to do with anything. When I went to see him for the very first time, they set me up with a patient's portal that is provided through my healthcare system. So like mine is called after the hospital that is the main nerve center for my healthcare group. And everything that I have done, all of my tests, all of the other people I go to, like I go see a gyno. That's who I've been seeing this last 4 months. And every time I go see her, if she wants a test or if she wants something else done, she will recommend me to a specialist or to a specific location that she wants the test done at. There's going to be a bunch of jump cuts here because I have a cough and nobody wants to listen to me hack into the microphone. But both my general practitioner and my gynecologist, anything and everything that I have done or anything and everything that they want done goes into my patient records. And my patient records are available to me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All I have to do is log into the system, the system of the hospital that I am now a patient of, and I use my email to do that. And this was set up the very first time I went to go see my general practitioner in this particular group back in October of last year, because that's the first time I saw my GP. Timeline doesn't really matter, but my point is that I have been able to access my medical records for almost a year now. And that is because it's it's legally part of the healthcare system. You have to, as a patient, have access to your medical records because they're your medical records. The hospitals and the doctors have to provide you access. And the way that they do that is they set up these accounts online that you, the patient, can log into, and you can access not only the tests and the requests for the tests, but the results too. And whether you understand the results or not is completely, doesn't matter. But I can go in, I can look at every test I've had that I've had done to me, and I can see the results for every test that I've had done to me. And let me tell you, some of them don't make sense until the doctor calls me and explains them to me, but that's because I, again, am not a doctor. I am an anthropologist. I am a sometimes archaeologist. I've studied evolutionary nutrition. I'm not a nutritionist, but I don't know the inner workings of my lady bits. That's why I go to a doctor who does. That was a really long way of me saying, I don't believe that Amber has ever been part of a medical system, because if she's setting up her patient portal right now, what have you been doing? Where have your records been going? Who have you been seeing? I don't believe you have a general practitioner. If you did, you would already have this set up. You would already know how it's going. Your GP would have been recommending you to actual places. Later on here, she'll be like, I have to look up a lung specialist. No, your general practitioner will recommend a lung specialist to you. They will recommend a person or a group of people within your medical group that are approved by whatever group your doctor belongs to. So I call bullshit on her regularly seeing a doctor. I think she doctor shops. I think this is proof of her doctor shopping. I also don't think she's going to see doctors when she says she's going to go see doctors. And I think she's stopped telling us that she doesn't go, because every time she does, she gets backlash, and she's learned. I'm curious as to why she doesn't go. I'm curious as to why she doesn't talk about the results from her cancer surgeries and her cancer treatments, because I do believe she had cancer. I'm not one of these people that didn't think that didn't happen. But as somebody who has had several family members who have gone through said cancers and have gone through cancer treatments, and myself being someone who got tested for the exact same cancer that she just survived, I, again, have access and have had access to all of those records. I've been seeing doctors for over 4 months at this point. You know, it's, where are your documents? Because Amber is one of these people that believes that she knows more than anyone else. So I do not believe, again, this is all my personal opinion. Anything that comes out of my mouth is my personal opinion, my personal speculation, unless I put a citation in. And I will let you know if I ever do that. But Amber is one of these people that believes that she knows more than everyone. She knows more than doctors. She knows more than specialists. She knows more than anyone. If she could perform surgery on herself, she would probably do it. Or at least try. Amber, I do not believe that if Amber knew she had access to her medical records at all times, that she wouldn't be telling us about it, telling us about the results, and then telling us how she has interpreted her results because she knows more than everyone. She's never done that. With the exception of, like, the weird lung thing that she's kind of hinting to that she did, earlier this year, where she was like, oh, maybe it was pneumonia, maybe it wasn't pneumonia, and then maybe I have a mass in my lung, and maybe I don't have a mass in my lung, and then she was all mad because the emergency room wouldn't give her a diagnosis, because that's not what emergency rooms do, and if you went to a regular doctor, you would know that. Those were the only times she really talked about the results, but I don't think she ever actually saw her results. And I still don't think she knew she had access to her medical records through a portal, because I don't think she was a regular patient. Do you guys see what I'm trying to say here? And I think this particular clip, she's tattling on herself about that. She shouldn't be setting up her patient portal right now if she's been seeing this doctor for, what, months, maybe years at this point. I'm sure she'll claim. And, oh, crap, I totally lost my train of thought, but there was something else I was going to say. She wouldn't be saying, I have to find a lung specialist, because her doctor would have already given her either a list of people to go talk to or would have already given her a specific person. When I called through my insurance, which she claims she has, to get an appointment with a gyno, they didn't even ask me what kind of doctor I wanted to see. Do you want to see a male doctor or a female doctor? They just assigned me someone who had the closest open appointment time. And I got really lucky. So that my point is I know how the medical system works. And the stuff that she's talking about and the stuff that she's doing isn't how the medical system works if you are someone who's actually working within a medical system with your insurance. It's not like she's from another country. She and I are from the same country. She's in the Midwest. I lived most of my life in the Midwest. I know how this shit works. And the stuff that she's saying and the stuff that she's telling us doesn't sound like how I understand the medical system to work. Again, my opinion, my personal experiences, this is not gospel, do not run with it, but this is why I personally call BS on this storyline. Do I think she's actually trying to find a lung doctor because she's actually scared about her breathing? Yeah, I think she is, because she appeared to actually be scared about her breathing. Not scared enough to keep an eye on it and monitor it regularly, but it's gotten to the point now where it's scaring her, so now she's going to go try and find a doctor. This is how Amber works. She ignores stuff until it gets to the point where it scares her, and then she tries to panic. Well, then she does panic and tries to find a doctor immediately, which unfortunately is not how the medical system works. So there's that. Again, I've been going to a doctor for over 4 months for basically the exact same thing that Amber just went through with her cancer. Well, she didn't just go through it, but you know, my lady times went over by a week. My period's usually very regular. My shit went over 1 week, and I was like, doctor, like, fuck this. You know, Amber waited years. The same thing with her lungs recently. You know, she went to the emergency room several times and got some x-rays done that she didn't understand. These people were not diagnosing doctors. They were just trying to make sure she wasn't dying. And they would have sent her records to her GP, which apparently she doesn't have one, so they didn't. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? And that was how many months ago? And now she's saying that she's like, oh, it's been hurting. It's been hurting if I take a really big, deep breath. Okay, that would be my first reason to go to a doctor. And now she's like, now it hurts whenever I breathe at all. Why did you wait to that point? So my partner just came home, and now I'm embarrassed.
Another update. I called the lung specialist, and I was right. You do need a referral, which I thought. But if I could skip a step or two, I'm definitely going to do that. So I just actually called my primary care doctor, and I made an appointment.
Where you're at.
So I have that set up. It's not like far away, but I feel like it's not soon enough for me. And so I think that, you know, in a few days I'm going to call and see if there's a closer appointment, because I know like people cancel and stuff, which they've also had me do in the past. So I'm definitely going to do that, because I really want to get this going, get this figured out. I know we tried last year to get it figured out, and after tons and tons of tests, we thought we found what was wrong. And turns out I think we were all wrong. You know, doctors aren't robots. They're not perfect. They're amazing and they are heroes, but we do have to be realistic. And yeah, so.
She has a lower opinion of doctors than I do. I wonder why. Like, I know why I have issues with doctors. And I can guess why she has issues with doctors, and it's not pretty. So I don't really want to know why, but I kind of do. Like, I don't want gory details. I just want like the brief synopsis of it.
Anyways, I am waiting for a phone call, a very, very special phone call. I'm also waiting for them to email me back. I had to fill out another paper. So we'll see, because I want to get my results. Hiya, hello. It's been a hot minute since I've talked to y'all, and I just want to let you guys know that like the more I do this fasting thing, the easier it's becoming, because I haven't ate in 16 and a half hours, and I feel fine. Like I don't even feel hungry, like at all. So kind of loving that. And that brings me into the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is like calorie counting. So I noticed when I was calorie counting the first couple of days, all the food that I'm eating is like so filling, and it's like nutritious, and it's not a bunch of like protein.
I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I'm probably gonna skip this part. Because again, this video is so long. This isn't the important part of the video for me. So I'm gonna skip this part. There's one thing I want to talk about
at this time right now, at all, in any sort of way. I do want to say one more thing before I end this clip. I'm not counting calories, but I am paying attention to them. And Feline even asked me the other night, she was like, what is like the difference? But I think she understands now too. It's like, say I'm having steak. I want to look at the calories.
Okay, the rest of this has nothing to do with what I want to say. So I have been noticing for the past, I guess, year now, the honeymoon with Feline is over, and it's starting to become more and more evident, but I was noticing it roughly about a year ago. The language she uses, again, her language gives her away. The language she uses when she's talking about Feline in these certain situations. Like, do you guys remember back when, I don't remember, but it was back in the Destiny era, and she was like, Destiny doesn't know nutrition like I do. You know, kind of implying that Destiny's an idiot and she knows more in a roundabout way. Maybe not even that roundabout. But she just did the exact same thing here. I'm not counting calories, but I'm still, what is it? Considering calories or something like that. I understand what she means. Like, I do. And that also has nothing to do with my point. But then she says, Feline didn't understand, but now I think she does, implying that she's explained it to Feline. And now Feline is enlightened now that the great Buddha, Amber, has explained the facts of life to her. There's other little things that have happened throughout the year where, if you guys remember the Becky era, which most of you will, that something will happen or that she didn't like, or something didn't happen that she wanted to happen, and it was probably her fault, but instead of taking onus for it, she says, oh, we didn't do such and such a thing because Becky blah 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 blah, or Becky didn't do such and such a thing, therefore I can't do XYZ. And she's done that with Feline a handful of times up to this point, where it'll be like, I forget what it was, but I think they were going somewhere or something, and she's like, well, you know, or maybe they forgot to buy something. And it was like, well, I would have done such and such a thing, but Feline forgot. And she's also, when she's recording, she's like, I would record or I would do something, but Feline is working. Shifting responsibility and blame onto Feline. So I didn't do something because Feline was doing something. And I think in her head, she thinks she's like giving Feline space. Like, she doesn't see herself being negative, and she doesn't see herself as blaming people, even though she is. And it's in her language that you hear it. And this is how it starts. It started with Becky this way. I'm pretty sure if I went back and watched the Destiny era, it probably started with Destiny this way. The few things I've seen about Crystal, this happened with Crystal as well, but I think they were already pretty well into their relationship when she started YouTube at that point. Anyway, that was just the point I wanted to make in this little clip. The rest of it, the calorie counting stuff, whatever. We know she's counting calories and she's doing it wrong, so whatever.
And I want to know how many calories are in a serving.
Yeah, I don't know why I turned it back on, because I want to skip the food haul. I don't really care. And I definitely want to skip her chewing on shit.
So I think it's time. Let's talk about weight loss surgery. So I finished my 12 sessions. I don't
believe that. I don't believe she had 12 sessions.
Approved by my therapist. I then was approved by my dietitian. And my next step was to meet with a surgeon to talk over everything that I've done and to set a surgery date. I would say it's been over a month where I have felt disconnected.
Okay, I want you guys to ignore the fact that I scratched my nose. I want you guys to watch her eyes specifically, and also keep in mind her lack of upper body movement. I am not, again, an expert in body language, but I have studied it in college because that's what you do when you're in college. You study random stuff. And I know there used to be another YouTuber, and I cannot remember her name. And if you guys remember who she was, please put her name down in the comments below. I don't even know if she's still making... I mean, I know she's not making videos anymore, but I don't know if her channel is still up. She used to do body language analysis of Amber, and I loved watching her. I didn't necessarily agree with all of her breakdowns, but, you know, it's a disagreement among peers, kind of a thing, I guess. But she really got people thinking about Amber's body language. And the thing that she really contributed is she's like, this is Amber's lie factory. So, adjust my ears, sorry. If you guys remember who she is, let me know down in the comments. And I will see if I can't find her account again. Anyway, my point is, Amber's body language in this particular section is very telling. It's more telling than the words she's actually using, but we'll also get around to her words because those are also very telling. So I'm going to let the rest of I just wanted to plant those two little seeds in your head while we watch the rest of this. And I mean, that face right there.
From weight loss surgery, like I wasn't ready. And there is a lot of personal reasons why I chose this decision.
You guys, personal reasons. And look, she's even like...
I have chosen to postpone weight loss surgery.
Postpone. I have to look up and over and then at you. And look, so she's even over here.
I know there's a lot of people saying that I was not approved or I was like declined. That is not true.
That is not true.
I emailed my dietitian. I felt really bad. I explained the situation I'm in.
I felt really bad.
The decision I made for myself. And I felt bad because my dietitian replied and thought it was something to do with their clinic. So she like gave me the number to call like the clinic's like head honcho, for the lack of a better word here, because she felt like maybe it was something they did. So, you know, if I wanted to tell them like my experience, like what they could fix and stuff like that. And I was like, no, it's something y'all did. You know, it's just a decision that I need for myself, made for myself. There's a lot of personal reasons that made me come up with this decision. I am not saying that weight loss surgery is never going to happen. I'm simply saying that it is postponed for now. My dietitian said that even though I have decided to postpone it, that I'm still their patient, that she will always be there for me. They will always be there for me. Whatever help I need, whatever guidance I need. And I just appreciated that so much. I was very scared to let them know about my decision. Like even now I'm just like stumbling on my words because I feel so bad about the whole thing. Like I was
she has to look up.
A lot of hard work trying to get this.
A lot of hard work.
Surgery. And I know that a lot of you wanted me to get it, but I realized
a lot of you,
like in my gut, that there was a lot of things telling me not to do it. And for a minute there, I stopped thinking of myself and I was like thinking of everyone else and how badly everyone wants me to be a success story. And I get that. But going under for surgery is very scary at my size. And minus the other personal reasons why I've chosen not to have weight loss surgery right now, I think the reasons that I am displaying right now, I feel like that is enough. And I feel like I should be validated in the way that I feel. Hopefully my words will not be dismissed. I feel like that's definitely going to happen. But I finally feel better again. I feel like me again. I am able to see a bright future regardless. I have been putting work in regardless. Like you guys see that. Honestly, weirdly enough, I haven't ate this healthy in a very long time. Let's just say,
which again, her words, very telling.
Like the way that I'm currently eating now, I haven't ate this healthy in years. And that is even after saying that I am not ready for weight loss surgery. So I just wanted everyone to hear that from my mouth. This literally had nothing to do with being declined for weight loss surgery or not approved, because it's actually the opposite, which is kind of mind blowing that I'm the one who said, you know what? I don't know if I'm ready. Yeah.
All right. So I know I made little comments through that entire section, but okay. So let's start with the language. We've talked about how Amber can never be wrong. Amber either has to be the hero, the victim, or the enlightened one in the conversation. She can never be anything else. And this whole conversation was Amber being the hero. Amber has decided that she's not going to get the surgery because she thinks it's not good for her. This is her decision. Nobody denied her anything. That's her language. That's what she is saying. What was it that I was like, oh, that right there. But yeah, so it's her language is making her the hero. And then she's very subtly blaming her audience, which she usually does, I didn't succeed because you guys were putting too much pressure on me. I know you wanted me to succeed, but I just didn't feel like this was the best thing for me. Oh, and then she brings it back around to, I think I deserve credit for the things that I did. What did you do? She always wants credit for everything she does. She wants to wake up in the morning and somebody to pat her on the back. Good for you. You woke up this morning. And the other thing, at the very end, I haven't eaten this healthy in years. Didn't she just spend the last at least 9 months trying to convince us that she is the healthy queen? You know, wasn't the whole point of this not getting surgery immediately thing was so that she could learn to clean up her diet, and she was supposed to lose 1 pound and then couldn't manage to do that? Wasn't that what she was supposed to be doing these past 9 months? And then all of a sudden she's like, I haven't eaten this healthy in years. You guys, years. All you're doing is dipping your vegetables in the mustard. I'm glad you're eating vegetables. And I don't really have anything against mustard or cottage cheese. It's just very Edie sus, and I will stand by that. All right, going back to the body language, because that in combination with what she was saying is very telling. So going back to the person whose name I really wish I could remember, but going back to her stuff, she would focus a lot of time on Amber's eyes. And the thing about our eyes, for whatever reason, our eyes will go to whatever side of our brain, will point to whatever side of our brain that we are using at that point in time. So if I'm making something up, my eyes are going to go one direction. They usually go over here. And if I'm recalling a fact, my eyes usually go over here. That's me. That's how my shit works. But when you're telling a story or you're recalling something, you will notice, just anybody you can watch, unless they're like one of those stone cold presenter people who's like, I do not move while I talk kind of a person, because they're reading from their freaking paper. Your eyes will move back and forth. And the more rapidly they're moving back and forth usually indicates that that's the faster you're trying to think, or the more you're trying to recall in real time. This is important because I know people are like, Amber's lie factory is over here. This is where she looks when she's lying. Yes and no. Anybody who does any of this stuff, especially if you're sitting around a fire and you're telling a ghost story, 9 times out of 10, your ghost story is probably made up, but there's probably some real facts in there, because a little bit of reality is what makes a ghost story the best, because it might happen, but probably not. So your eyes are going to be moving back and forth. Like, I remember when I was a child and I went into the basement. Here's my facts. And when I was in the basement, I saw the ghost of a Civil War child in the corner. See, you saw my eyes move because I felt them move. And so now I'm making up the Civil War child part because that's not real. And then I'm going to say, and when I was down there, my dog, who I actually had, saw the child too, and it barked at the kid. See, I'm back over here again. And then now I'm really trying to make shit up. So now I'm here. But my point being, you can see my eyes moving back and forth, and I can feel my eyes moving back and forth. Mainly because I'm not trying to stop them from doing it. You probably can train yourself not to do that. I don't know. My point being is the average person's eyes are going to move back and forth because the same side of your brain that you use to kind of make up things is also the side of your brain that you synthesize things on, because you can see them over here. So you will have facts and you will synthesize those facts together. So even if I'm just recounting an actual factual thing that happened, I'm going to be over here occasionally because I've got to pull all of that together to make it coherent, basically. And I'm not just a robot listing off bullet points. The reason I point this out is because Amber's eyes move very, very much. They're moving all over the place. They're over here, they're over here, they're over here, they're back over here. They spend a little bit of time over here, they go back over here, they spend a little bit of time over here. And then there's this very telling zone where she spends right here in the center, not making eye contact with the camera like I'm doing right now. Right now I'm trying to like impress upon you how serious I am. And that's usually what people are doing. I'm very serious. Don't trust people when they make eye contact with you and they're telling you a lie, because that's what liars do. But she, at certain points, will not even make eye contact with the camera. She won't even look up in the general direction of the camera, let alone look directly at it. And that's because what a lot of people will say is that, like, that's your shame reaction. And it's not necessarily a shame reaction. It's just a, I don't want to acknowledge this reaction. So it's more like a denial. So I'm not looking at this thing, therefore that thing is not really there. And the camera for her in this instance is representing her audience. And so she's making up this lie. I don't think she's making it up on the fly. I think she's rehearsed this. She's already written it out, maybe actually physically written it out, but she's already made the story in her head. She might even believe it. I don't know. I don't know how delusional she is. Anyway, my point is that she gets to these certain points and she's like, she won't even look at the camera because she's denying that the audience is there. I'm sure that's not distracting at all. Anyway, that's how you kind of know she's making shit up. First off, you've got the rapid eye movement back and forth. It's not a recalling of facts. I'm not saying people's eyes don't move quickly when they're recalling facts, especially if you're very excited about something, you might be all over the damn place. There's not a lot of upper body movement either. And there's even several points where you can see just by the roll of her shoulders that she's like gripping herself down. She's holding on to something. She's either trying to keep her hands from moving or this is a comfort thing for her. So she's telling us something that she's holding back on. Probably because she's making this shit up. When she's got her hand over here and she keeps doing this, she's bringing attention back onto herself and she's bringing it specifically onto this side. Look over here. Look over here. I'm not lying. Look over here. And then at one point she does this movement here. And this is like, you see me petting myself. This is a soothing gesture. And this is the lead in to the soothing gesture. You saw that at one point she's like scratching her ear. Again, this is a soothing gesture. She's like, oh, it's okay. You know? So, putting all of this together, excuse me, putting all of this together and watching the clip over, this is like the third time I've watched it now because I forgot to hit play, or record, I guess. It sticks out. It just really sticks out. And it's not one thing that lets you know that somebody's lying. It's the combination of everything all together. She's making up this story. Maybe there's some actual facts here. Again, everything that comes out of my mouth is my opinion. Maybe there's some actual factual facts in this story. I do not believe it. I do not believe the weight loss surgery arc has ever been real. I think at some point last year, she once again got the idea of weight loss surgery into her head and she said it out loud without thinking. And then she was like, oh shit. And so instead of completely backing out of it at the beginning, because she's done that twice already and she got a really bad backlash from it, she decided to run with the story. And now at this point, this video from 6 days ago as of this recording, she realized she has to shit or get off the pot. And there's no pot. Do you guys see what I'm saying? I think with her therapist, I think she went to a handful of those therapy sessions and then never went back again. I don't think her therapist was real past a certain point. And whatever other therapists she was seeing before this, I don't think any of those therapists were real past maybe a visit or two. The reason I say that is I am someone who is in therapy. So these are my personal experiences. Again, she doesn't talk like somebody who's in therapy. She doesn't sound like somebody who's in therapy. There have been a handful of times where she has actually acted like someone who has gone to an actual therapy session. And those are the times where I feel like she actually really did. And that was like the one appointment. She went to one appointment and for whatever reason never went back. Maybe it was inconvenient for her because, you know, her life is so damn busy. Or maybe something came out in that session that was uncomfortable for her and she didn't want to go back and revisit it. And it was a subconscious rejection of going back to the therapist. Therapy's hard. It really is. If you can manage to get therapy, I recommend it. But therapy's hard. And it's not always pleasant. So I'm not knocking her on that, but then she continues to lie about going to the therapy because she's like, oh, I said I had to go to 12 sessions, so I guess I better make up 12 sessions, you know, that kind of a thing. And I don't for a minute, and I never have, believed that her dietitian is a real person. Not even a little bit. So anything she says about her dietitian, it's bullshit. It's made up. It's Dr. Google. Again, these are my personal opinions on the matter. So I really just wanted to go over like that this weight loss, the end of the weight loss surgery era is over because Amber had to conclude it somehow. And she can't get the surgery because there is no surgery. There never was. And she can't be denied. Because Amber can't lose. Being denied means she lost. So in this way, everybody told her she was perfect. Everybody said she was fine. Even though she gained, 20 pounds during this time period, it's fine. You can still get the surgery. Everybody's so proud of you for just waking up this morning. It's fine, Amber. Yeah, you just show up and we will give you that therapy and we'll give you that surgery. And so then she had to be like, well, I, Amber, do not think that I should get weight loss surgery. And then everyone clapped. That's what happened. Curtain. Because there was no weight loss surgery, and there is no dietitian, and there is no surgeon, and there is no clinic. I'm sure there is a clinic somewhere that she went to at some point, and maybe she even did the little Zoom meeting where she watch the commercial for the weight loss surgeon. If you guys follow Kicking Geese, you know what I'm talking about. They watched the online version or the online video. Past that point, there was no weight loss surgery. There was no weight loss clinic. There's been no therapy. Nada. Anyway, personal opinion. Do not run with it as fact. I think I want to talk about the mukbangs and the feeders briefly, but then that's going to be the end of the video.
Y'all, I'm so excited. So I'm sure y'all have heard
y'all.
about the freaking Stanley Cup or tumbler or whatever it's called. I think I finally got one. I've been thinking about it, and I finally took the plunge and I got it. So let's open her up. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So I wasn't gonna get it off of Amazon. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna get it from the Real Deal website. So I got it from the actual website. So this is how it's wrapped. Oh, she is beautiful. I have been drinking so much.
There's such a fun story behind this Stanley Cup thing that wasn't even popular until they like literally paid some TikTok people to drink out of them. Genius work, by the way, Stanley Cup. I do want to comment on this, and this is how you know that the weight loss surgery is also not real. She spends money. Like, I think she's a shopaholic. Again, I've mentioned my paternal grandmother a few times. My paternal grandmother was a shopaholic, and I recognize the behavior. But she's mentioned, she used to mention, I can't afford the weight loss surgery right now. I don't think she could, because I don't really know how much weight loss surgery is, but I also know insurance companies will pay for it if you're over a certain weight. And I believe that's like 35 pounds over ideal, which I technically qualify for. Anyway, but the Stanley Cup being neither here nor there, it's the purchase. These cups are not cheap. And she even said that she could have bought it off Amazon, which would have been cheaper, but she decided to buy it directly from the store because clout, basically. She wants to pay full price for this because she wants to show you that she can afford to pay full price for this. This goes back to her associating herself with the 1%. Like, she really does think that she's on the same level as millionaires and billionaires and that she's just as famous as like the Kardashians. She truly thinks that she identifies with that. And the Stanley Cup thing is part of that. It's very bougie. It's very popular. It's very it girl right now. She wanted to buy a full priced one. A used one would simply not do. It had to be in pinky pink, these kind of things. But the fact that she is willing to drop hundreds of dollars, I don't know how much this thing actually costs, but I know that later on she does some kind of shopping haul where she spends $100 at some BS store. That shows you that she is not concerned about paying for something truly, really expensive. I know she said in the past that she manages her money. I have no idea. I have no reason not to believe her on that. She lives in a very nice apartment. I don't know where exactly she's at, but it's not a cheap area. She can afford to buy fast food pretty regularly. I mean, she's clearly living okay. She can afford her lifestyle. Okay? I don't think she's like Foodie Beauty where she's literally running out of money because she can't stop spending money. But she obviously didn't have the money to pay for the surgery out of pocket. Or that was also another lie to cover up never ever even actually stepping forward to even look at it. Not saying that didn't happen. But this sort of behavior just tells me that the weight loss surgery thing was never real because she's not concerned about paying for a large payment out of pocket all at once, but she's still going to go buy these things, stuff that she doesn't need. This thing's we're never going to see this damn cup again. Maybe we'll see it once or twice, but we'll never see it after this. Just like we never see any of the other garbage she buys.
You know
We're
what?
going to talk about the apple.
That's fine. All right, so I'm about to cut an apple, but we got this really cool cutting board where on the inside it's like a cutting board for each thing. Like there's one for chicken, vegetables, fruit, etc. And the yellow one is for vegetables. So I'm about to cut me an apple.
If there's one for fruit and there's one for vegetables, why are you using the vegetable one to cut fruit? Kidding me.
So I'm actually just thinking, and I've had a few people contact me saying how I'm doing mukbangs again and how I'm eating for the feeders. And all I can really say is, trust me, if that was the case, feeders don't want to see me eating carrots. They don't want to see me eating apples. They want to see me eating cheeseburgers and chicken nuggets and Chinese food and things of that nature. They're not wanting healthy Amberlynn, trust me. They ain't getting off watching me eat freaking broccoli, I can promise that. And it just goes to show that I feel like I can't even exist as a human being because if it wasn't for my weight, me eating the little bit I do on camera, people they wouldn't say a single thing about feeders. But I don't know, it's just frustrating. It's just hard to exist as someone my size. I just feel like I can't sometimes. And it's I'm not even eating healthy, I'm eating healthy foods. That has just been on my mind.
Oh my God.
I swear, when you cut apples in super thin things like this, it feels like so much apple.
I need that as a soundbite. I'm not joking. That's just that is an Amberism. When you cut apples super thin, it just feels like so much apple. Like an apple? Anyway. Her knife skills aside, why are you cutting the damn apple with a steak knife? Over the apple. Anyway, her feederism comments. Feederism is on a spectrum. It's a fetish. It's on a spectrum. Like everything in the planet is on a spectrum, including apple slices. And yes, there's a certain group of the feederism kink that likes to watch women specifically eat large amounts of really disgusting food. But there's also people who like watching people just eat. She is already in the morbidly obese category, where a lot of feeders just like to watch big women eat. They don't really care what they're eating. Sorry. They don't really care what they're eating, just that they're eating. There's a point in one of the videos in the past that I've skipped the chewing parts where she's like, apple, carrot, broccoli, and then she like eats it, and then she does that a couple times, and then like I think in the third video where before she starts doing it, she goes, you guys have told me that this is very ASMR for you, and it's very satisfying for you to hear the crunch, and then proceeds to eat celery or something. So she's aware. She is aware that people are watching her specifically for her eating content. And clearly they don't care if she's eating healthily-ish. We can debate about mustard and cottage cheese. Mustard and cottage cheese are healthy. What Amber was doing, I don't think she's doing it anymore, but what Amber was doing was Edie vibes. But she has acknowledged that her audience enjoys watching her eat. And then to sit here and be like, the feeders don't actually want to watch me eat healthy food. It's a fetish. Yes, they do. Maybe certain feeders do not. But other feeders are fully okay with watching a 600-pound woman put anything in her mouth. Hungry Fat Chick is a perfect example of this. Nothing against Hungry Fat Chick. I don't watch her. I've seen a couple clips of people covering her. She seems like a very nice person, and I feel really, really bad for her. I really do. And I hope she can turn her life around before it's too late. But the fact that people are still watching her, which is good. She still has supporters who are watching her, but she's eating healthier than she has eaten. It's my understanding. You know? Amber's eating content, regardless of what she's eating, gets her views, and she knows that. So, yeah, the horror movie of watching her cut that damn apple. Maybe it's not like top tier feeder content, but people want to see that. The other thing I want to say about that whole scene is, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but the lighting in that scene and the tension of that scene, and like, it was like grade A scripted. Like, that scene could have been in a movie and just set to like some ominous music. Oh my God, if someone could do that, I would love you so much. Just take that entire scene, take the talking out of it, and just put in like some eerie building music as she's cutting that damn apple. I love horror movies. That was A+ horror movie material. Anyway. Yeah, I think that's the end of the video, but that's definitely the end of what I'm going to cover in this video. If you guys have liked this, if you guys have gotten to this point, please put an apple in the comment section. And because we're ending on an apple. Please like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. Good comments, bad comments, thumbs up, thumbs down. The algorithm does not care. So, yeah, I'm gonna do another batch of videos like I did last time. So you'll probably see this shirt in another video, another 4 videos, hopefully. See you guys in the next one. All right. On to the next horror movie.